This call is being recorded.
All right, good Monday morning. Hey, this is Coach 100K, helping you make six figures in this industry. Hey, we are so excited today. Got an incredible call. You want to make sure that you have pencil and pad ready. I'm going to take my time and get out of the way on purpose because I want to make sure I take incredible notes. Paper don't forget, so make sure you do take the notes today because you're going to be blessed, empowered, and you're going to be made better. The value that's going to be given today is going to be tremendous. You know, one thing about Dr. Breakthrough, he is a connector of people that can collaborate. And we thank God for him bringing his influence to us so we can learn from all aspects of the industry. So just going to get out of the way and bring on our breakthrough specialist, Uplift International Global Trainer, as well as Crown 6 number one income earner, Dr. Breakthrough. Is breakthrough time. Shark, shark.
Shark. Well, thank you, Coach 100K, and appreciate you and your lovely wife and your dedication to empower 100,000 families to enjoy the six-figure lifestyle. We always say it's not about the money; it's what the money allows a person to do. So we've got a guest speaker here. Pardon me, that'll be coming in just a few moments. So I want you to text and tweet and do whatever you need to do to get folks on here at the last minute. They do not want to miss Tom Ziglar. You may have heard of Ziglar. Well, the legacy lives on through this incredible man, Tom Ziglar, who's going to be speaking here in just a few minutes. So again, you want to make sure you let your friends know ASAP. So anyway, we want to, as we do most mornings, give you our breakthrough, attitude adjuster. And so this is something I want you to think about, to meditate on, allow it to sink in, because again, my friend, Romans 12:2 clearly says, don't be conformed to this world. In other words, don't be like sheeple, but be transformed. So you got to have a deprogramming and then a reprogramming, and that's what we do here with our Breakthrough Daily Attitude Adjuster. And there's people all over the world that use this, and you ought to do it as well. And then at the end, of course, we'll take a deep breath, symbolizing that we're going to breathe it in, okay? So the Breakthrough Daily Attitude Adjuster, and you can find this on freebreakthroughpresentation.com, freebreakthroughpresentation.com, and you'll get able to see and access it there, okay? So, wow, what a great day to be alive. I feel dynamite. I like me. I love me. I'm making today a great day because I'm too blessed to be depressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too glad to be sad, too anointed to be disappointed, too elated to be agitated, and too legit to quit. Circumstances are aligning themselves in my favor. I am healthy, physically fit, and intellectually equipped. I have wisdom far beyond my years. I am an extraordinary person with incredible abilities that I would use to add value to others' lives. Knowing that as I help others reach their dreams, I will automatically reach my own. I anticipate meeting the person or group of people today that are willing to use their power, wealth, and influence to empower me to achieve my dreams. All day long, people will go out of their way to bless me. Today, I will add great value to someone's life. I will show compassion to those in need. I will give strength to the weak and inspiration to the weary. Someone needs what I have to offer, and I gladly make myself available. I embrace abundance, and it embraces me. I'm abundant in every good way. I am an abundance magnet. I like money, and it likes me, and it's attracted to me. It comes abundantly from many sources, and I circulate God's money wisely because it's a tool to empower those in need. It's also a way of keeping score of how many people's lives I added value to. So money flows freely and frequently from expected and unexpected sources in exchange for the value that I consistently bring to the marketplace. I may have been broke, busted, and disgusted, but now I declare I am rich, growing, and overflowing. My business is booming and checks are zooming. I'm happy on purpose. I'm experiencing great victories, supernatural turnarounds, and miraculous breakthroughs in the midst of great impossibilities. I am an overcomer. If my mountain can be removed, I'll develop and practice my mountain climbing skills. I may experience a setback, but setbacks are only setups for comebacks. As a matter of fact, setbacks pave the way for comebacks. I'll make lemonade out of life's lemons, and if life dares to knock me down, I'll fall on my back, realizing that as long as I can look up, by the grace of God, I can get up. I commit to paying for my dreams with preparation and perspiration, so I won't have to live with my nightmares of regret. I do not procrastinate because procrastination leads to devastation. It is the assassination of my destination. Thus, I will act now. I'm a doer. I get results that last. I now release the champion that is inside of me. I'm the leader that multitudes of people are looking for. So I choose to succeed today and every day hereafter. Watch out, world, here I come. And in this context, watch out, world, here we come. So I want us to take a deep breath, symbolizing that we're receiving the words that were spoken. So ready, breathe in your nose. All righty, now out your mouth. All righty. Thank you. So listen, we've got a very special guest today. And also, by the way, yesterday was my first year anniversary for the 21-Day Breakthrough Challenge. It was a year ago when we launched the challenge. Matter of fact, at Apostle Burrell's, well, I announced it a week before that, I think, at Apostle Burrell's church. But anyway, we launched it. And our objective, again, is to empower 1 million or more people to experience one or more breakthroughs in 21 days or less. And I was blessed to, years ago, I was speaking in the Dallas area before I lived here, many decades ago. And matter of fact, let me go back even a decade or two before that. And I was speaking somewhere, and somebody said, "Man, you remind me of Zig." And I said, "Zig? Who's that?" And he's like, "Dude, you don't know who Zig Ziglar is?" I was like, "No." I was like, "Okay, like he's like friends with Les Brown." I was like, "Well, I don't know who that is either." They was like, "Are you kidding me?" And so anyway, I was like, "Well, you know, I'm an evangelist. I've just been traveling and preaching to churches, so I don't know anything about motivational guys, whatever else, you know." And so anyway, they began to, "Oh man, listen." They said, "But you remind me of him. You got to get some of his stuff, you know." And man, decades later, I was speaking in Dallas, and someone connected us, and Zig invited me to come over and speak at his for his devotions for his staff. And then we visited church service with him. He said, "Hey, we'll go out to eat afterwards." So I'm thinking we're gonna go to this restaurant, and right inside their church. That church is so. First of all, we had like a Sunday school class with over 400 people. And then we had lunch right there in the church. They had I was like, "Man, now this is the kind of church I'm talking about." And anyway, and of course Zig passed on. But I got to meet his son Tom, and then spoke at the devotion over there. And of course, Tom now has taken this incredible legacy and carrying it on. As a matter of fact, as you know, there's a powerful meeting this weekend, the Reset Conference with Adele, and many of us will be speaking there. Tom's going to be one of the speakers, and so I thought it'd be apropos for you to get a chance to hear this incredible young man. Obviously, he's the CEO of Ziglar Corporation. He's an incredible businessman, and he helps people to break through in their businesses, to accomplish more, to achieve more than ever before. And they do it. He does it based on, again, good old-fashioned biblical principles. As a matter of fact, my friend, that's the cornerstone. And I remember, again, just what a joy when the first time I heard Zig, I was like, wow, he doesn't curse. He's bragging on his wife. And I was like, wow, these are the kind of people that I'd like to be around. And so you're going to hear Zig with great delight. He travels all over, speaks all over, written books. I mean, just incredible, and got such a humble spirit. But more than that, he knows the facts. He's got a heart as big as Texas, and you're going to hear him with great delight. So Tom Ziglar, the legacy carrier, take it away, my friend.
Oh, my goodness. I'm pretty excited, man. You got me fired up. I took a deep breath, and I'm in the moment. So, Dr. Breakthrough, you are on target today. And isn't it awesome that we have that choice every single day, every single moment of every single day to decide what kind of attitude, what kind of approach, what kind of character we're going to live our life with? I love that. It's just an awesome thing. So what I thought I'd do is I'd like to just open up with a story. and then maybe we can go back and forth a little bit. You said something in your introduction. You said the phrase, "Are you kidding me?" And I love that phrase, and I want everybody to kind of anchor that phrase into your mind. Are you kidding me? But I want to change your mindset on it. I want you to have a different view of it, because I think it is a phrase, a concept, a mindset that can engage and change the results that you get in life. And I know we all are here because we want results. You know, Dad had this philosophy. He said, you got to be before you can do, and you got to do before you can have. And what that really means is you got to be the right kind of person first, then you do the right things, and then you can have all that life has to offer. And when you have something, then you can give it. And one of the things that amazes me is that people don't understand, until you have something, you can't give it. And so the reason we want prosperity, the reason we want to win, the reason we want to be successful in life and in business is so that we can give to others the things that they need. We want to give the hand up, right? Not the hand out, the hand up. And we can only do that from a position of strength. And then I believe the ultimate gift that we can give is the gift of legacy. And legacy is simply preparing those we love to grow through life's most difficult challenges. Now, when it comes to legacy, the ultimate legacy is an eternal legacy. And so, like you said, Dr. Breakthrough, all of our material, everything that we teach is biblically based. But let me go back to the story. Are you kidding me? I was, this is like 12 years ago. I'm with my coach, mentor. He's also the chairman of our board. And I'm in his office, and he's getting on me. He's coaching me about how's business doing? What are you doing here? Dad passed away 7 years ago. And this was after he'd had a fall and a brain injury, and he'd lost a short-term memory. His heart was the same, his love and passion for life was the same, but his short-term memory was very, very short, as Dad would say. And our business was going through a change, and it was struggling a little bit. And so I'm in his office, and Dale, his name is Dale Dotson, he says, Tom, what about this and this and this? And he gave me about 2 or 3 business options, some ideas, some things that we could use. And I proceeded to give him a long list of excuses and reasons why it wouldn't work. And he just looked at me. After I got done, there was like a 4 or 5 second pause, which is a long time when you're talking one-on-one. And he looked at me and he said, "Are you kidding me?" And I was just, it was like, it's like I'd been slapped. And I said, "Well, I don't know what you mean." He said, "Are you kidding me?" And I go, "I still don't know what you mean." And basically what he said was, "Tom, the very reason you think you can't is the very reason you should." And we had a nice conversation after that. That really pierced my soul. And about 2 weeks later, I got somebody reaching out to me on social media, and they said, "Hey, I need some help. Can you talk?" And I would do that. And so I took a call from this guy, and here's the story of this guy. He was up from the Northeast. If you go back in time 10 years ago, it's right after the mortgage meltdown crisis that we had. This guy was a real estate broker. He and his wife had a business, and together they were doing about $500,000 in income. And literally overnight, that income went from $500,000 to less than $50,000 in an annual basis. The problem was he had a $500,000 lifestyle. They lost all their property. Their business nearly went down. They really, really struggled. And he shared with me in the phone call that they also nearly lost their marriage. And then he said this. He said, "This is why I want to talk. I'm thinking about leaving the mortgage industry or the real estate industry. I just don't know if this is for me." Well, I knew the backstory. He'd been doing it for over 20 years. He'd had a lot of success in it, obviously, and he loved it. And so I asked him, "Why do you think you want to leave the industry?" And he said this, "Well, I've been through so much. I've been knocked down so hard. I just don't know if I could bring any value." And I said to him, "Are you kidding me?" And there was a long pause on the phone. And he said, I don't know. What do you mean, are you kidding me? I said, are you kidding me? Let me ask you a few questions. I said, hey, do you know more about the industry now than you ever have? And boy, did he go off. He said, you got to believe it. It's been such a struggle the last 2 years. I've learned every trick, every way to keep and close the deal, everything possible. I've really dug deep. I know more about the industry than I've ever known. And I go, okay, what about this? How many people right now, because of the times that are out there, how many people right now are selling or buying a property because they've gone through or are going through a similar situation as to what you're going through? And I could hear his mind calculating, and he said, Tom, over 80%. And I said to him, are you kidding me? And he said, what do you mean? I said, look, you are perfectly positioned. You know more about the industry than you've ever known. And not only that, you have empathy and compassion for everybody who's in the same situation you've just now struggled out of. Are you kidding me? You're perfect. And he looked, I could just feel his look over the phone. And he said, Tom, you know, you've given me something to think about. I'm gonna pray about this tonight. So the next week goes by, and I get a 7-page, single-spaced email from him. And this is how it starts off. Tom, I prayed about it. I decided I was recommitting myself. The next morning I got up, I got out a list of delisted homes. Now, a delisted home in the real estate world is simply a seller who had a contract with a real estate agent. The house didn't sell. They decided not to renew, so it goes on to a list. And so he's a real estate agent, so he's calling all these homes that people haven't sold, right? And he's seeing if he can pick them up. Well, about halfway through the morning on the first day, he gets a hold of a lady. And he says, ma'am, I know that your home just got delisted. I'm a real estate agent in your area. I've got a long track record of success. I'd love to represent you. And in the email, he says, Tom, you could hear her depression, her frustration, her despair on the phone as she said, well, I don't know why you would bother. It's not going to matter anyway, because even if I did list my home with you, my soon-to-be ex-husband is going to block the sale. And I said, oh, my goodness, gosh, I know a little bit about trying times and what it's like to have a relationship on the rocks. I tell you what, I'd love to come meet with you, and I'll make you a proposal. And the proposal is, if you like what you see, then it will be my responsibility to get your husband on board, or your soon-to-be ex-husband. And if your soon-to-be ex-husband agrees to it, then I can list your home. She says, well, it's a waste of time, but come on out. So he goes out there. He meets with her. They sign the paper. And then he goes over to her soon-to-be ex-husband's house, and he waits out front in his car. Her ex-husband, about to be, is living with a friend. Well, an hour or so later, he drives up, and he's walking in. Our guy gets out of the car. He walks up. He introduces himself. He says, hey, John, this is so-and-so, and I just want you to know that I've met with your wife. I know the situation in your marriage. I know that you guys are trying to start fresh. I know it's been a hard time, and I know that a fresh start would mean selling this house. I'd love to help you on that. And is there anything I can do in that way? And he wrote in the email, he said, you could just see the man's shoulders slump. He looked up, and maybe with a little tiny hope that he'd never had before, hadn't had in a long time, he said, you know what? It's time. It's time to take action. I could use your help. And so this is what I want to say to you. When somebody comes to you and says, you know what, you should pursue this, you should do that, and in your brain and the old voice, the one that we're getting rid of because we all need a checkup from the neck up, your mind is saying, wait a second, who am I to do that? I want you to interrupt and interject this. Are you kidding me? Because God, I believe, has positioned you perfectly with your experiences, your trials, the obstacles that you've overcome in a way that you can reach people that nobody else can reach. And so as you go out on the day, as you think about who you are and whose you are, I want you to think about all of the opportunities that come your way. And when that voice says, wait a second, who am I to do that? I want you to interrupt that with, are you kidding me? Because here's the reality. I see it every day in what we do. The very reason you think you can't is the very reason you should. And so, Dr. Breakthrough, that's kind of my opening there, my story for today, the words that I want to encourage people with. And so I just throw it back to you and see if you got some questions or comments or what you're thinking.
Are you kidding me? Man, brilliant. And folks, I want you to know this is absolutely incredible because, like I said, a couple of things. One is, the fact that Tom talked about his mentor, and as we always say to people, the fastest to learn a skill or to obtain success is through mentorship. And the greatest athletes in the world, the greatest everything, they all have coaches or mentors. It's only the folks that don't understand that don't have them. And so anyway, but I want y'all to know that Tom, of course, has a rare privilege of spending this entire life, as you know, surrounded by world-class leaders as his dad and others, innovators and motivators. And the family dinner included the presence of world's top motivation and motivator, Zig Ziglar. As a result, Tom's arsenal of experience and information is absolutely unparalleled. Now, as the CEO of Ziglar Incorporated, Tom carries on the Ziglar philosophy. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. And so Tom is also the key collaborator with his dad's book, his 30th book, Born to Win. The Born to Win philosophy is both profoundly simple and simply profound. So you must plan to win and prepare to win. Then and only then can you expect to win. So Tom's greatest business triumphs are the result of bringing people to this elementary realization. You are born to win, so go ahead and live to win. You can have a life of success and significance. You can leave a legacy that will ripple through eternity. So his first solo title, Choose to Win, published and released in March of 2019, expands the Ziglar branding and philosophy to include the secret to winning at life and one good choice at a time. A more productive, fulfilling, and meaningful life is available to those willing to follow his easy-to-implement sequence, making one small choice at a time through the time-tested 7 key areas: mental, spiritual, physical, family, financial, personal, and career. So Tom speaks around the world to billion-dollar companies, small business owners, and prestigious academic institutions, including Cambridge, Harvard, so forth. Leadership, business, and performance are among his favorite topics. So his unique education, life experience, and innate gifts perfectly position Tom to serve top executives. His ability to hone in on the crux of business issues and provide premium-level coaching allows his clients to take their business further than they ever dreamed possible. The Ziglar brand is more relevant today than ever. Ziglar has exceeded 5 million likes on Facebook. And the Ziglar Show has become one of the top-ranked business podcasts. The world is hungry for inspiration, motivation, and hope. With Tom's innovation, Ziglar has become the go-to resource. So, man, congratulations. The question I have for you is because, a lot of times when someone is connected to someone super successful, a lot of times there's insecurity there. And so how did you find your footing to where you recognize and realize, okay, yeah, dad is dad and I'm different, but I've got some extra gifts and talents that I can add. So like walk us through that process. I'm sure there was a time like that, and now to see that you're actually carrying that legacy on and even further.
Absolutely, and I'll just be upfront. I've been the president and CEO of the company for 25 years now.
Oh wow!
But I was the behind the scenes guy. I was the operations guy. I was the one who prepared the stage for everybody else to go on stage. And I never could conceive of myself getting out and speaking. I mean, it's just like people would say, like, hey, you got a lot to say. You should go say it. And I'm like, oh, no, are you kidding me? And then somebody basically rephrased that, and they said, wait a second, I think you should go out and speak. So about 10 or 11 years ago, I started speaking, and boy, golly, the anxiety, the nervousness, the fear, all the things that come with people who are not comfortable doing something like that was kind of overwhelming to me. You know, and so I understand when somebody says, "Man, I get nervous before I speak," or I'm not sure if it's worth it. I understand that, but when I would do the speech, I loved it, right? And so here's a reality. The most powerful story in the world is the story we tell ourselves. And the story I was telling myself is that people expected me to be like Dad on stage. And that was a lie. You see, the truth is they wanted me to be the best version of me I could be. If I'd tried to copy Dad's style, which nobody in the world can do, I mean, just, you know, there is probably no greater speaker who ever walked the stage. I can't copy his style. Nobody can. What they expected, really, the truth is they wanted me to have the same principles and values. They wanted me to have the same work ethic. They wanted me to have the same care and concern. And so what that did is when I sat myself in the corner and had that "are you kidding me" talk, it took the pressure off, because now everything that I was worried about went away, because they didn't want me to be Dad. They wanted me to be me. And guess what? I can control how much effort I put into it. I have a choice over my principles and values. And so I'll be kind of honest, it kind of let the inner nerd out. So, because I'm more of a nerd, my sense of humor is dry. I look at things, I'm the why behind the why guy. If you want to know why something works, I'm your guy. And that's what I love doing. So out of all that transformation from believing a lie that I was telling myself to understanding the truth that, wait a second, hey, you know what? If you put in the effort, you go out and you speak God's truth in love, God's going to honor that. And He's going to use you just the way you are. And so that was to me. So if somebody's out there going, "Man, are you kidding me? I could never do that." I want you to think about, what lie are you believing?
Wow.
Because, right? And so I tell people, well, how do you know if it's a lie? Well, just measure it against God's truth. If it doesn't measure up, it's a lie. And it doesn't matter whether you're telling yourself or the world's telling you that. If it doesn't measure up to God's truth, well, what does God want us to do? Well, here's my personal mission. My mission is to create the atmosphere that allows you to become the person God created you to become.
Wow.
And I'm going to save the details on atmosphere for our reset conference. But
wait a minute, Tom, back up. Say that. Say that again. I think somebody's trying to write that down. What's your personal mission again? What did you say?
My mission is to create the atmosphere that allows you to become the person God created you to become.
Wow.
And the reason I say atmosphere is it's bigger than environment. It's different than culture, right? It's spiritual. And so wherever I go, whoever I'm around, you know, I've got to have that character quality, that, you know, that countenance, whatever it is, that somebody says, okay, now there's some peace here, there's some truth here, there's some wisdom here. What's God telling me? Because really what we can do for our fellow man is just create the atmosphere that allows them to become the person God created them to become. You want to be the ultimate husband? Create the atmosphere that allows your wife to become the person God created her to become. You want to be the ultimate wife? Create the atmosphere that allows your husband to become the person God created him to become. When you got two people doing that for each other, that's an unstoppable union.
Wow. And what if parents did that for their children? What if, hey, Tom, what if leaders did that for their teammates? You think they could build a huge team? Because that's really the crux of the success. Yes, sir. You said it. By the way, let me back up. See, Jeremiah 7:8 says, "You trust in lying words which cannot profit." And the whole breakthrough philosophy is based on the fact that we like you said, we tell ourselves these lies, and so many times we talk ourselves out of things, and so we've got to break through those lies. That's the importance of reading books and especially attending conferences. And Tom, you probably know better than most people that attending conferences is so powerful because sometimes it's one word that you get, it's one phrase, sometimes it's a particular speaker that you just gravitate toward, and their messages hit you. I mean, but conferences, and that's again, your dad did that for decades, going around the country, and that's why he did it, because that was like the breakthrough, that was like the spark that people needed, that would lead to that ultimate breakthrough, and that created that atmosphere. And so this weekend in Dallas, if you're in Dallas, if you're close to Dallas, if you know anybody in Dallas, fly in if you need to, my friend. But this Friday and Saturday, Tom and I and some others were going to be there, and Tom just mentioned he's going to be speaking on. Listen, what he just said alone. This is the beautiful thing I love about being a speaker is I was going to these things anyway. Now I get to go and speak, but to be able to hear that. So what he said alone is worth the trip of getting there, of the cost of the ticket to be there. By the way, www.resetconference.info. www.resetconference.info. I need you, by the way, to send a text, a tweet. I need you to post on Facebook and say, listen, you've got to go hear Tom Ziglar as he explains and breaks down how to create the atmosphere that would allow people to be their best self and so forth. And so put the website, www.resetconference.info. That'll give all the information, resetconference.info. So Tom, we just got a moment or two left. But man, this is so powerful what you're talking about, the creating the atmosphere. And by the way, isn't that interesting that in church we will have the praise, the worship service precede the preaching of the word? Why? Because it helps to create the proper atmosphere. Because if the atmosphere is not right, then that preacher's gonna struggle.
That is right. And you know what? When I say we can create the atmosphere, we bring our atmosphere with us. I've been in some dark places. But I bring my atmosphere.
Wow. And that, by the way, is the power of the daily breakthrough attitude adjuster, folks, is you get to create that atmosphere, because again, Tom, as a teenager, they used to always say, well, you don't want to hang around the wrong crowd. I never had that problem. The wrong crowd never wanted to be around me because I spent time with God in the morning and got so fired up, right, that it was like some folks is the one that wanted to avoid me like the plague. And but Tom, this is so powerful. So I'm going to bring out Coach 100K, Pastor Kenny Smith. Coach, I'm sure you probably got a question for Mr. Tom Ziglar. So I always to put it this way, Coach 100K, what you got to say?
Well, I got to say I'm blessed, man. Hey, Tom, thank you for the wisdom. I'm so excited. I really just was empowered to hear that. I think everybody has a chance to start again. It's kind of scary. We're trying to start again, to rebuild. Your story really hit home with me. I've had to rebuild several times. And to hear you say, are you kidding me? Really, really, really blessed me. And the part about the atmosphere is so true. I have one question, but I wanted to make a statement. When you said that, I thought about atmosphere is so important, not necessarily talent, but atmosphere means everything. And so, if you are in orbit, some of you might want to put your feet on the ground, but you can't. The atmosphere won't allow you. And if you're on the earth, you might want to fly, but the atmosphere won't allow you to. If the wind is blowing really, really, really hard, like hurricane wind, Tiger Woods, no matter how good he is, wouldn't be able to just do what he does. Atmosphere is so important, even if you have talent. And I thank God that you're doing that. You're setting an atmosphere, even today, for us to be great. My question is, what would you tell the team today about how to conquer their fears, if you will, their fears of being great, their fears of doing it again. Many say, well, what if it doesn't work or whatever have you? So what would you say to us today if there's some fears still lingering around that haven't been identified?
Yeah, there's and I'll use a statement, and this is what happens a lot is we get inspired, we get motivated, we get gung ho. We're going to do it. We're going to grow to the next level. We're going to start that business. We're going to close that deal. We're going to revitalize that relationship, whatever it is, and we work really, really hard at it for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then we give up. You ever seen that happen? I mean, it's everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And so the question is why do people give up? And there's a thing called in our brain, in our mind, which we can control. There's a thing called cognitive dissonance. And so what happens is we set this new, we raise the top, right? We create this new level that we want to aspire to, which becomes our new standard. And then our brain says, wait a second, your whole life is in such chaos that you'll never get there. And so we give up. And so here's the thing, and this is what I want to say to you if you have fear or you're wondering what to do next. What we teach is you never give a promise without a plan. You never give a promise without a plan. So if I say, hey, you can do this, you can be this, you can create the life that you want, but you've been operating in a way that's getting you negative results, your mental underneath is going to say, wait a second, how can I be that when everything else I do is this way? So what you do is you transfer that fear into a plan. If you've ever been woken up in the middle of the night, okay, so here's the tip. If you've ever been woken up in the middle of the night, oh no, how am I going to pay the bill? How am I going to handle that? What am I going to do? This is how I counter that. I go into my office, and the first thing I do is I create a gratitude list. Everything I'm grateful for, I start writing it down. And why am I doing that? I'm creating an atmosphere. Because fear and gratitude do not live in the same place.
Wow.
Okay. Now, here's something that's interesting. It is not negative to identify a problem. It's only negative to stay focused on the problem. What we need to do is identify it and then get focused on the solution. So the second thing that I do is that I identify the problem and I start to write down all the things that I can take action on. Guess what? That's the plan. Now, if it's with a relationship, for example, there's probably 5 or 10 things I can take action on. But guess what I can't do? I can't change that other person. And so that's the third step, is I give the things I can't change to God. So I start with gratitude. I develop the plan, and the things that I can't impact, I give to God.
Whoa.
So if fear's getting you, man, that's the plan.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. That's good stuff there.
No, that's better than good. That's better than good. So, hey, somebody asked me to ask you, Tom, would you repeat the statement about husband and wives again when you mentioned about atmosphere? And by the way, let me just say, when people hear me talking about my ABCD, my adorable brown caramel delight, when we met years ago, that's one thing I told her. I said, baby, there was something about your essence, about who, like when I got her, I was like, you just being around you made me feel like I could be more, do more, have more. I was like, it was weird, and I told her, I said, all these years now, it's even more. I was like, this is like, you're incredible. And she's like you. She's a behind the scenes person, right? She's super quiet. And, and I tell people all the time, it's, you don't have to be this outgoing, bombastic, whatever. God uses each and every person in their own way. But someone wanted you to repeat that statement, but I can testify when you talk about atmosphere. Matter of fact, people, the few people that we allow in our space here in the house, they've made statements like, "Oh my goodness, just the atmosphere in here," and that's all Nadia, right? I mean, I would ruin it, right? I'm moving too fast. She's like, "Baby, just breathe. It's okay. Just breathe." So make that statement again about husbands and wives, if you don't mind.
You bet. Okay, so I'll set it up. I'll set it up a little slower. So, okay, I'm speaking to the husbands now. Imagine that your responsibility 24/7. This is it. When it comes to your wife, is to create the atmosphere that allows her to become the person God created her to become. So what are you saying to her? What are you doing for her? How are you positioning her? Any wives out there feel like maybe life would be a little better? How about this, ladies? Ladies, what if you knew that your responsibility 24/7 was to create the atmosphere that allowed your husband to become the person God created him to become? I tell you what, two people doing that for each other, hurtful words are out. Selfish interests are out.
Come on. Wow.
Simple. Simple's not easy. So.
I think it was Jim Rohn that I used to travel and speak with him time. He would say, anything that's easy to do is also easy not to do, right? That's the problem. Right. So
I tell you what, though, in
awesome.
This case, simple's not easy, but it's not easy, but it's a lot easier than not doing it.
Wow.
I mean, the result.
That's exactly right.
The pain. Yeah.
Wow. All righty. Well, again, this has just been incredible. Thank you, Tom, for your time. By the way, folks, let me just attest real quick to the character of this man. When I recently spoke at the for the staff there, and I got there a little late, and I was speaking, trying to get done, and so I was done. So Tom comes in afterwards. He says, "Well, you didn't say anything about selling anything. You got anything to sell?" And I was like, "Well, technically, I don't sell things, but I make things available to people that want to buy. But yes, I do, And but anyway, make a long story short, a bunch of folks are buying the things that I mentioned. And then Tom comes up after me and he says, "Well, you talked about that 21-day breakthrough challenge. I'm going to sign up for that. What other stuff do you have?" And I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, this is Zig Ziglar's son. This is like, this is the guy that's probably hurt everybody's uncle, cousin, niece, nephew, But folks, it's always rings true. The people that need it the least usually move first, and the ones that need it the most usually don't move at all. They don't get it. And so you constantly have to be sharpening yourself. You have to constantly and continually. And so anyway, so I just appreciate you, Tom, and appreciate the legacy and how, again, it's just been incredible to see, because, again, I tell people, motivation and inspiration is great, but like I said, if you don't have a plan, like my wife always says to me, that sounded great, but we hear different speakers of different things or even sermons. She said, but what could I take and put into practice? I mean, I need something step by step that I can just, and so that's the power that you bring to the table, and that's what's so awesome and so apropos. So everyone on this line has been blessed, and folks, you hadn't heard anything until you hear Tom and me and these other speakers all combined, Willie Tubbs and others, at the Reset Conference in Dallas, Texas. Now, before I moved here, Tom, I was always flying into Dallas so now I'm glad I'm here. And so I just go across town, right? So like last weekend we were in California, but this is an easy weekend, but we're right across town now. So here's the thing.
Right.
So that powerful training of creating that atmosphere, literally, my friend, you need to be there for your family, for your business, for your personal success. And Tom, and can I just be very transparent here for a moment, if you don't mind?
You bet.
So my wife asked me a question that stumped me, and she said, "Baby, so I understand what your vision is, so forth, but what's your vision for the family this year. And I was like, vision for the family. Well, we're going to try. She said, no. What's the? And so I was in my prayer time. I'm like, well, what in the world is she talking about? So I finally said, baby, I got to be honest. That's kind of stumped me. I said, she said, well, maybe you ought to call so-and-so. And she called a few names. And so, I thought about that. And then when you said what you just said, I was like, wait, that's it. God just gave me the answer. and the mission for the Harris household family today is to create that atmosphere, as you're talking about, to create that atmosphere that allows each and every one, first of all, to be a haven of hope and a place of support, but an atmosphere where you are empowered to be your best self by the grace of God and for the glory of God. And so, while you were speaking, that thing just hit me, and I just wanted to share that because my wife is so good at helping me understand no amount of success in business, church, or the world can compensate for failure in a home. And as a matter of fact, success in the home is the greatest launching pad for success in business, church, and so forth and everything. So thank you very much, Tom. You just answered and helped me, man.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
You're the brother like no other. So everybody, www.resetconference.info, resetconference.info, and send out text, tweets, everything. Get folks there, and you're going to learn some things. The people are going to learn some things. And the beautiful thing too, Tom, is the folks who can't attend, if they were to send someone there, and that person gets what they need, don't you think that endears that person to the one who invited them, told them about the conference? Like, oh my goodness, and people don't even understand this, but that's part of my success in life, is connecting people into things and situations that I think would help and empower them. And so if you're the person that lives in Mississippi, but somebody in Dallas or Fort Worth or somewhere close, San Antonio even, you're like, look, you need to get to that meeting in Dallas, or you send out a tweet, you send out a post on your Facebook, whatever, and they go there, they go to the website, www.resetconference.info, and they get to this conference, they hear Tom, they hear the other speakers, they get their breakthrough. Guess what? That endears them to you, because you just added value to their life. And so, Tom, close out. What's your dad's most famous statement?
Yeah, Dad's most famous quote is, you can have everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want.
Wow.
And that's the golden rule. That's the golden rule. And that's exactly what you were just talking about. If you encourage somebody to come or sponsor somebody to come, and their life has changed while they're there, then that's an eternal reward right there.
Wow. Well, you just said it, you did it, and thank you. And now your legacy continuing on of creating the atmosphere that allows that. So, man, that's incredible.